you have a transgender person who rightly is identifying as a woman and wants to use the woman's bedroom. Rightly, wrongly, not a moral choice, but this is what they identify with. Their need is genuine. I'm accepting all of that. Yeah. And they want to use the woman's bathroom. But there are other women who are made uncomfortable, and not merely uncomfortable, but who would feel intruded upon if someone who still had male characteristics walked into their bathroom. That's why we have different bathrooms. So the hard question is, how do we deal with that?
Dear Justice Sotomayor, you recently heard arguments in the case of Amy Stevens concerning the right of a transgender woman to simply have a place of employment. In your comment, let's not avoid the difficult issue, you prioritized the concern that some women would be, quote, made uncomfortable or feel intruded upon if someone who still had male characteristics walked into their bathroom. I know that some women do feel intruded upon when I use a women's restroom, because I'm one of those women with male characteristics. In my office, most women are perfectly pleasant and appear nonplussed by my presence in the restroom. But others clearly do feel uncomfortable. And these women avoid talking to me, and they wear faces that suggest fear, contempt, or discomfort. Perhaps you would feel the same way if you were sharing a women's room with me. To you and to them, I say I'm sorry. It's not my intent to make you feel uncomfortable. In a world with only two choices, we use the restroom that most conforms to who we are and how we present. We do this because using the one that fits our assigned gender but conflicts with who we are and how we act, dress, walk, and talk, well, that would almost always produce more concern, more discomfort. In fact, the other restroom would be quite literally dangerous and unsafe for us. Just as white people felt uncomfortable when people of color began to share their lunch counters, or male students and alumni of Princeton or Yale might have felt intruded upon when the first women were admitted, I imagine that your response should be that they repress their discomfort and accept the change that is necessary for me and Amy Stevens and people like us to be free and equal. If there's no place for us to go to the bathroom, how can we work? How can we go to school? How can we participate in government? So that's how I started a letter to Justice Sotomayor. She's the supposedly liberal Supreme Court justice and supposedly a champion of civil rights who has sent pretty clear signals that she's getting ready to rule with the conservatives and to rule against Amy Stevens. She seems to share their prejudice that people who look like me shouldn't be allowed to share a restroom with people who look like her. So I want to speak from the heart for a minute. I think I've lived a good life, and I spent 9 years in that life serving as a United States Marine. I was an infantry officer and a combat engineer, and though I never served in combat, I was an exemplary Marine. I have the letters of commendation, the medals, the fitness reports, even the early promotion to captain to prove it. And when I was a Marine, we took very seriously our oath to defend the Constitution. We believed in freedom, and we were willing to lay down our lives for it. But if Amy Stevens and I and 1.5 million gender non-conforming Americans don't have the right to dress, act, live as who we are, then those things I was willing to die for when I was a Marine were just meaningless platitudes. So what I have to say to my transgender sisters and brothers and our allies is that it's time for us to fight loudly, to tell our own stories, and to make our own case. No one's going to give us our rights. We have to demand them. It's time for us to take our piece of the American pie. I'm not willing to wait for the Equality Act to pass. Are you? So, if you're a transgender or non-binary American or an ally, I want you to post your own letter to the justices and to videotape it on your cell phone and post it here. There are 1.5 million transgender Americans, and I want at least 50,000 of them to join this petition for justice. We posted a link to a toolkit that'll help you write your own letter, videotape it, and post it here in as little as 20 minutes. But if you wait, maybe another 20 years before we have an opportunity for justice like this. Act now. Thank you. My name is Stephanie Wade. I'm a proud transgendered American.